Pastor Trish, and it's Monday evening, February 8th, and I am a little early this evening. Steve and I are going down to volunteer at the Connection Shelter for supper and serve supper. So I thought I would do this and be early rather than extra late this evening. Psalm 104. And as I was reading about this particular psalm, it is a paired psalm with 103 that we did on Thursday evening. And so if you want to go back and read and pray Psalm 103 again and then move into Psalm 104, that would make a lot of sense. Both psalms begin and end with the phrase, bless the Lord, oh my soul. Bless the Lord. And so they're paired in that sense, but they're also paired in the sense that Psalm 103 is talking about the character of God, God's faithful, loving kindness, God's Hesedness. And Psalm 104 is all about praise for God's creation, for all that God has created. And there will be a whole litany. It's a long psalm, so I'm going to move into it quickly. I invite you to take a deep breath, maybe even close your eyes for just a moment. Look out the window. Um, think about the cold, the bitter cold, but the beauty of the bitter cold. I know some of you have posted photos of sundogs and some of those kinds of things. And so just invite you to think about the diversity and the immense beauty and majesty of all parts of God's creation, even some of those parts that we sometimes struggle with. Maybe you have planned, are planned, or maybe are even in a warm spot right now. So a whole nother sense of creation. And then there's all of the other animals and fish and birds, and you'll hear some of that in this psalm as well. There is so much to God's creation, and the psalm gives praise to that. Let us praise. Let my whole being bless the Lord. Lord, my God, how fantastic you are. You are clothed in glory and grandeur. You wear light like a robe, and you open the skies like a curtain. You build your lofty house on the waves, and you make the clouds your chariot going around on the wings of the wind. You make the winds your messengers. You make fire and flame your ministers. You establish the earth on its boundaries so that it will never, ever fall. You covered it with the watery deep. Like a piece of clothing, the waters were higher than the mountains. But at your rebuke, they ran away and they fled in fear at the sound of your thunder. They flowed over the mountains, streaming down the valleys to the places you established for them. You set a boundary they cannot cross, so they'll never again cover the earth. The imagery in that is just beautiful and striking, isn't it? And we are reminded as well of the promise after the great flood. You put gushing springs into dry riverbeds, and they flow between the mountains, providing water for every wild animal. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. Overhead, the birds in the sky make their home, chirping loudly in the trees. From your lofty house, you water the mountains. The earth is filled by the fruit of what you've done. You make grass grow for cattle. You make plants for human farming in order to get food from the ground, and wine which cheers people's hearts, along with oil, which makes the face shine, and bread, which sustains the human heart. The Lord's trees are well watered, the cedars of Lebanon, which God planted, where the birds make their nests, where the stork has a home in the cypresses. The high mountains belong to the mountain goats. The ridges are the refuge of badgers. God made the moon for the seasons and the sun too, which knows when to set. You bring on the darkness, and it is night when every forest animal prowls. The young lions roar for their prey, seeking their food from God. When the sun rises, they gather together and lie down in their dens. Then people go off to their work, to do their work until evening. Lord, you have done so many things. You made them all so wisely. The earth is full of your creations. And then there's the sea, wide and deep, with its countless creatures, living things, both small and large. There go the ships on it, and Leviathan, which you made, plays in it. All your creations wait for you to give them their food on time. When you give it to them, they gather it up. When you open your hand, they are filled completely full. But when you hide your face, they are terrified. When you take away their breath, they die and return to dust. When you let loose your breath, they are created, and you make the surface of the ground brand new again. Let the Lord's glory last forever. Let the Lord rejoice in all he has made. He has only to look at the earth and it shakes. God just touches the mountains and they erupt in smoke. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praises to my God while I'm still alive. Let my praise be pleasing to him. I'm rejoicing in the Lord. Let sinners be wiped clean from the earth. Let the wicked be no more. But let my whole being bless the Lord. Praise the Lord. And just some beautiful images, don't you think? One of the practices that I think this Bible invites me to do, or to you to do, us to do, is to continue that long list of creation that the psalmist has made. What would you add to it? What parts of God's creation would you add in? Continue that list as we continue to rejoice and bless the Lord. Have a good evening. Stay warm, and I'll see you on Thursday.